So in the studio with us right now, we've got author, writer, Heather Elizabeth King. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
You in relation to Stephen King?
I wish.
All writers' last name King ought to be related. I don't know.
No, the only good thing would be being shelved next to Stephen King because somebody would look at my books.
Yes. Now, wouldn't that work to your advantage?
It would.
Yeah,
it would.
So that your books are right there. You got Stephen King, but yours would actually come before his if it's if the first name is alphabetical as well.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I haven't been to a library in forever.
You're right.
Jamil, when the last time you read a book?
I always read. I'm a part of a book.
I mean, a book though.
Oh, you mean like holding
a book? Hold a book
like
in
hold
your
a book.
hand.
Oh no, it's been a while because I put everything on my iPad.
That's what I'm saying. Be rich.
Yeah.
What you?
Chuck Rose, PIMP.
Okay, well, that's true. That's right there. But you know, it's like nowadays everything's on the Kindles, on the computer. In fact, I think Heather, your new book, you can't even buy it. You had to buy the laptop. It's got your book on it.
Well, it's on.
Laptop.
I was told that you got to buy the laptop for $5.99.
Misinformation.
And her book is on it. The book is a plus.
It can be downloaded to a Kindle or the Nooks or anything like that. It's on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com.
Okay.
Laptop not necessary.
Okay, that's okay. So tell us about the book you have. It's called Tainted Love. There was a song about it back in the 80s.
And then,
y'all too young to know
That's
anything
called.
about
We had a little snap in there.
there was a.
So is it juicy?
It's pretty scary. It's funny because it's Tainted Love now, but it's an urban fantasy, and it's kind of dark because it's post-apocalypse. Third World War has happened. The Earth is covered in water, and there was biological warfare that made a whole segment of people who were impacted by it different. They're now parasites. They've been forced to live underground. They call them parasites. They're just like these unwanted people who've been forced to live underground. And my main character is a parasite, but she has fake papers she can pass.
That's interesting.
Yeah, she can pass, so she lives topside and she's an investigator. So it's this dark urban fantasy story that I sold as a romance. So the title went from Skinwalker to Doomsday Chronicles to my editor said, you need to have something that's more reflective of romance.
Yeah, because Skinwalker doesn't sound like a love story.
Yeah, I added more romance to it once I sold it.
So no, it's kind of like The Walking Dead meets 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Not necessarily
Not
50
quite.
Shades of Grey.
So how long have you been writing?
I've been writing professionally since about 2003.
Okay.
I had my first book published. I used to write erotic romance under a pseudonym.
What pseudonym was
that?
Google it, be rich. Google it, be rich. What pseudonym was that under there?
It was Adrian Kama, K-A-M-A.
Oh,
and
Adrian Kama. We're going to look at that. Google that right now.
I'm glad you didn't tell them that before you got in here.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have you coming back. We're going to have you come back on the show as Adrian Kama.
I wrote for a few years as Adrian Kama, and I published about 8 stories, 8 books.
Really? 8 of them stories out there be rich?
Yeah. The first time I ever saw my book in a bookstore was Adrian Kama, so it'd be nice to see Heather Elizabeth King now.
I think it's cool to be like a writer and then use different names so you can just write and express yourself any way you want without people really knowing that it's you. Basically.
Is that why you did it? I mean, is that why you used a pen name when you did the erotic?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to write more mainstream stories and more like mysteries and thrillers, so I wanted to save that kind of stuff for my real name and have people, when they see Adrian Kama, they know, okay, this is something spicy.
Okay.
This isn't going to be a mystery with people dying and no.
So did the people around you know that this Adrian Kama was you, like all this spicy stuff going on, so your people knew, like, yeah, I did this. Okay.
Yeah, I was pretty excited when I got the first that call of being published for the first time. So, yeah, if I had any intention of trying to keep it to myself, I wouldn't have been able to.
You're like, no, this is me. Really, it is. It's really me.
It's me, honestly.
Now you're in the studio right now, holding the mic like you're Diana Ross. You let the mic go. It's like she on stage. It's like, you know, reach out and touch somebody. Reach out and touch.
Don't sing it again.
Turn into Diana Ross up here. So what else? So that Tainted Love came out a while back, like maybe last year?
Yeah, in June last year.
Okay, all right. And it's doing well, I assume?
Yeah, it's doing well. It's yeah, it's interesting making the switch from writing as Adrienne CaMM to writing as myself. It's almost a little bit like starting all over and creating a new fan base, because some people who know, you know, that Heather's me, but they read my Adrienne stuff, they're like, okay, where's the good stuff?
Okay,
enough of these zombies.
So are you working on a book right now as we speak?
I am. I'm working on, it's a cozy mystery with, of course, supernatural elements, because pretty much everything I have has the supernatural and a little bit of theology.
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff is going that way now. There's a lot of our literature, like, you know, look at all the Vampire Chronicles and the, you know, Twilights and all that. Those are the authors who are really ruling right now, is the stuff that is more fantasy, because people want to escape from that everyday, you know, life that they have going on.
Yeah, I'm coming up with a book, man. It's gonna be like that. It's gonna, instead of werewolves, it's gonna be Rottweilers and pit bulls.
Rottweilers and pit bulls.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, so it's gonna be like a Twilight.
Yeah, yeah.
With Rottweilers and pit bulls.
Yeah.
And baby lobsters.
I think that would be a hit, man.
Yeah, man.
I can see Ice Cube and turn that into a movie.
Exactly. That's it.
So is this fantasy writing, was this something you were interested in, or did you kind of get interested in it when you saw how popular, like, Twilight and all of that stuff was?
I've always been really interested in it. Reading stuff like that growing up, and just even movies, like horror movies, scary movies, things like that, like more Poltergeist scary, not Saw, and things like that.
So let me ask you, because sometimes when I read like scary stuff or see scary movies, like I start hearing stuff in my house, like what is that? No, oh, that's the dog. Okay. So as a writer, when you're like into your like groove, do you get a little paranoid with all of the stuff, or no, because you control, these are your characters that you control?
No, I can get a little bit when I'm writing it and I'm in a really scary scene. I can start to look around if it's dark out. My desk is right in front of a window, so I can start looking back, and when I'm doing, more so when I'm editing the next day and I'm reading through what I wrote, if it's something that's supposed to be scary and it doesn't scare me a little bit, I'm not doing my job. I figure, yeah, it should make me feel uneasy.
Heather Elizabeth King, otherwise known as, what's the other name again?
Oh, Adrienne CaMM.
That's the one.
That's what we're gonna do. The next time when you
did that, that's what I'm looking for.
The next time,
The boogeyman.
the next time you come on the show, we want Adrienne CaMM. All right?
She's retired. Thank you. Adrienne is retired.
Oh, she's retired.
She doesn't make appearances
We're gonna find her. Be rich.
We
In
need that-
search of Adrienne CaMM.
That 51st Shade of Grey.
The 51st Shade of Grey. Anyway, thank you so much for coming to the show and for sharing that with us, and much success with all your writing.
Thank you.
And we hope to have you back on the show in the future to talk about how well, you know, whenever you drop in the next book, you know, come on and share something with us, be a part of our Hot 103.9 family.
Great, thank
All right?
you.
Thank you. Heather Elizabeth King, everybody.